Welcome back to another episode of Whatever This Is. I am Christian, and as you can see on my head, I am wearing a visor because everybody seemed to tell me at the convention, as well as just over the past few months, that I am the hat guy. I wear hats in my videos. I'm pretty sure I've only worn hats in like 30% of my videos, and yet for some reason, somehow, wearing a hat has become my brand, which that's an entirely different topic to begin with, about just your brand. And how you can sort of accidentally stumble into something that maybe you weren't planning on it becoming who you are or how you get recognized. But for me, for the purpose of this video, hats seem to be my brand. Okay, so hopping into today's video, we are going to be talking about a topic that I can definitely foresee me making way too many videos on in the future. So with that being said, today's video topic is going to be on ChatGPT. If you've heard of it, awesome. If you haven't heard of it, buckle up. As I just mentioned, I will be making a bunch of videos in the future about this, but the whole purpose of this video is essentially ChatGPT 101. What is it? And then the very basics on how to use it. And then at the very end, I'll probably have a couple prompts that I'll show you exactly how you can use it specifically as a real estate agent. What is ChatGPT? Well, ChatGPT is essentially an AI. It's AI, really. We don't need to elaborate anymore. It is an artificial intelligence where it's very hard to explain. It's essentially Google, but it's interactive. So you can ask it to do something, you can ask it to research something, you can ask it to write something, and it will do it. So just a few things to note about ChatGPT before we dive into sharing my screen is one, it only pulls information from 2021 as of right now. I'm gonna guess that as time goes on, it will be a little bit more updated as we go, but that is important to note when it comes to asking it to do certain things. All right, so this is essentially what you are going to look at when you go to ChatGPT. Now, the best way to open up ChatGPT is just Googling ChatGPT, and it should be the first link. The URL, which I will throw up on the screen right now, is chat.openai.com. And if you already have an account, you just log in, or you can sign up. It's not crazy. It's just like a normal sign-up process. Okay, so this is what the home screen of ChatGPT is going to look like. It saves chats. So as you can see, I've already sort of played around with it on the left-hand side. These are the two chats that I've played around with it in the past. It gives you examples of like how you can, like what you can be asking. It gives you the capabilities as well as the limitations. There are some limitations, as it says right down here, limited knowledges of the world and events after 2021. So keep that in mind. Don't ask it for like timely things. Also, it's not going to give you like sports betting advice or stock market advice. That's how AI takes over the world. But down here at the bottom, this is the chat bar. This is where you essentially start the conversation, which is, I think, a good way of putting it. You start the conversation with ChatGPT. So first things first, let's just start with a very basic one, how I mentioned earlier. Let's say write a bio for a real estate agent. Now, that is a very vague question, and I want you to essentially see what it's going to see. You can see it's typing very quickly. Now, one of the things to remind yourself whenever you are going to be using something that ChatGPT uses is you should probably never just copy and paste it. And I'm actually going to take that back. You should never copy and paste it. You should take what they wrote and then put it in your own words, because first of all, obviously your name is not John Smith. Maybe you're not a top performing real estate agent, but also what does top performing mean? Maybe you probably don't have over a decade of experience. So like you can get more specific. Another thing to keep in mind about ChatGPT is like, okay, they just gave you this. The cool thing about this is you can then say, okay, tweak it. You can go back in and be like, because it's not like whenever you write a new message, it's not a new conversation every time. it knows what it wrote. And so when you follow up with a question or a prompt, if it pertains to what it wrote, it knows that. So let's say that we don't love the third paragraph for whatever reason. Let's say rewrite, I've helped hundreds of families find their new home. Spelled hundreds wrong. Let's fix that. So you can see that with this new prompt, rewriting the third paragraph, I mentioned how I've helped hundreds of families find their new home. They sort of gave you two. So they gave you more than what you were asking. Another very common way that real estate agents want to use ChatGPT is social media posts. So I'm going to give you an example of how not to ask it, which is obviously going to be write 3 social media posts for a real estate agent. And it's going to think, and it's going to do this. Now, the way that it's doing this is obviously it is AI, but the way that it's pulling information from the internet. That's why that whole thing of like asking it anything prior or after 2021, it doesn't know, because it essentially has the entire internet prior to 2021. So what it's doing is when you ask it to write 3 social media posts, it scours the internet for you, obviously in blinking fast speed. Now, I'm not going to lie, these actually aren't terrible. They're not bad. When I was playing around with this a month or 2 ago, asking it to do that was not probably going to give you a great response. So these actually aren't terrible. But we imagine getting even more specific. So now I essentially just rewrote the exact same question, but instead I added in Michigan in April. That way we're a little bit more specific. And look at that. Now you can use these 3 up here, but I would definitely classify those as very vague, very generic, nothing fancy to see here. But just by adding write 3 social media posts for a real estate agent in Michigan in April, not only do we have topical things such as spring, as well as the word Michigan, low interest rates. Okay, clearly, boom, this is why you got to read stuff, because again, this is using internet, or this is using data prior to 2021 when we had low interest rates. So keep that in mind. Maybe we don't use that one. Or you can say rewrite number 1 without interest rates or something like that in mind. If you can think it and figure out how to ask it, it can do it. So that's exactly why there's going to be many videos on this in the future, because I'm still learning how to utilize it to its fullest potential, and I sort of have to know it in order to teach you it. Okay, so as you can see on the screen right now, I basically just told it to write a marketing campaign for a new real estate agent buyer lead that inquired on an agent's website. Make the plan 3 days in length with the following. Day 1, a short call script for a new lead buyer. Also on day 1, a quick email that asks the top 5 things you're looking for in a property. Day 2, a text to ask them if they've had a chance to review the properties that you sent them. And then day 3, a quick check-in email to see if they have any questions. And look at what it just did. In the time it took me to read the prompt, it gives you day 1, a short call script. And it gives you the place to put in your name, or their name, your name, the real estate place, your brokerage. Now, again, would I use this script to a T? No, but you have the script. I would rework it to make it sound a little bit more natural, a little bit more you know. Day 1, quick email, hi, lead name. Again, tweak it as necessary. Day 2, text, tweak it as necessary. Day 3, check an email, quick. Now, guys, this is going to make your life a whole lot easier. This is just the tip of the iceberg about what this can do for you. Again, I am still learning, so that is essentially where this video is going to end, because I wanted to leave you guys with just a little taste of what it can do. Again, I want you guys to get in here and to explore it for yourself, to be as specific as possible. If you think there's no way that's going to be able to do that, I dare you to ask it. As always, thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys next video.